Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please take a seat. Thank you. You're too kind. Thank you. You are too kind. Today, welcome in. Happy Monday. For those of you who like Mondays, I love them. Love the weekend too. Get to spend some time with my family, but really love working. I really love what I do, and really love doing these new live sessions. Which again, every single day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. on my YouTube channel, also streaming across my other platforms. If you want to ask me questions, please feel free. I'm monitoring the chat. Whatever platform you're on, just type it in and we will get into it. And today, I want to talk about a hot topic. Well, I'm kind of making it a hot topic. It's not necessarily on too many people's radars, mainly because the people in the SEO community are extremely sensitive. When I say things like Google stinks and it's no longer as nearly as impactful for marketing purposes, the amount of pushback I get, well, it fuels me. Thank you. But it's also it's kind of crazy to me because at the end of the day, if you are an SEO or a search marketer, paid search, whatever it is that you do within Google, and guys, trust me, I've been doing this for 15 years, right? I don't just make this content because I love to poke and rib at the community, which I do. Don't get me wrong, but I also want to help you because I sat where you sat. I still do search marketing for a lot of our agency clients, but I don't care about Google. I care about my clients. I don't wish or anything bad for happening at SEO or any of those things, but like at the end of the day, if you are a marketing services provider or you work internally marketing at a company, if you're watching this, you're in the marketing space, you do marketing, your job is to impact businesses, it's to make them money, it's to drive interest, it's to drive awareness, it's to drive conversions and engagement. And Google is no longer nearly as impactful as that at doing that, especially SEO. And we're going to talk about a myriad of reasons of why. But first and foremost, if you're in the live chat, please fight me. I want to have conversations. I want to have discussions here. This is like that guy on TikTok who sits there with a sign and is like, people are assholes. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I want to hear your side of it. But as we go through this today, I'm going to present you a multitude of different examples of just how I no longer use Google. And I get it. I know it's not about me. Plenty of people use Google. I look at search volume, blah, 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 blah. I totally get it. Guys, I'm knuckles deep in search marketing services for clients. So I get it. You don't have to tell me. But, at the end of the day, let's take one step back. Google really has one job. Google's one job is to provide fast, accurate search results to users, right? If they can do that, people will keep coming back. If people keep coming back and using it, they can sell ad space. The entire platform runs on ad space. AdWords, LSAs, multi billion, almost $1 trillion industry for that company. So the one job is to do that. But in all fairness, there I don't know why, right? If it's over aggressiveness with ads, if it's too much changing complexity with search, with so much content now on the web, how do you organize and distribute it? It's a very hard problem for Google to solve. But the fact is that we have to start with not what Ahrefs is telling us for search data, or what prospects are coming and being like, hey, I have a website, I want SEO. Those people are behind. It's not your job to be behind. It's your job to be forth thinking. Is that a word? Thinking ahead, right? For what's coming next. Because again, your job is to make your clients money or to make your business money, whatever it is that you do. And if we're not honest about what's happening in Google, then we're going to be out of business. So let's quickly just talk about and look at some examples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my screen over here real quick. I'm going to share my screen and we are going to go through a series of different queries that, again, I'm just paying attention to these things during my daily basis, if you will, right? These are things that I am constantly looking for. Again, I still do use Google, don't get me wrong, but less and less and less. So let's pop over here to Google and just look at some examples here. Share my screen. Come with me, people. Come with me. Also, again, ask questions, prove me wrong. I think Google stinks. I want you to tell me why. I want you to tell me why Google is the future of marketing if you believe that it is. So here we are at Google. Let's start with an informational query type example, right? So just yesterday, just this week, I was looking for ways to pull ClickFunnels data into agency analytics, the software. And when I do that, right, I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to start. So I came to Google and just typed in something like ClickFunnels data into agency analytics, right? The first thing that we see here are 4 sponsored results. Not helpful to me at all. The next one here is website funnel analytics. It doesn't pull in anything or even answer the query here for me if it's even possible, right? So let's change this then and say, can you integrate ClickFunnels data into agency analytics? What do we get? Well, we get the AI overview answers here. Now, is this helpful? Sure, it is. But, you know, from a point of SEO, if you are any of these like website owners, aside from maybe agency analytics here, it's not overly helpful, right? But what I found, this search of course changed on me yesterday, was let's say I'm like, okay, I'm going to pipe over here now and I'm going to take a look at some of these results. Like in what world, seriously guys, like in what world do I want to, like, look at this post, and I'm not picking on Cometly. I've never heard of them before. They're playing the game, right? And the game is what's ruined search. And one of the reasons why search is ruined. When I look at this, it's like, okay, I just want to know what I'm looking for, right? I don't need this block of text. I don't need all this SEO content, like understanding, like if I think about it this way, if I am searching, my query was integrating ClickFunnels into agency analytics. I am a hyper aware user. I know about ClickFunnels, clearly I'm using it. I know about agency analytics, clearly I'm using it. So why do we need to freaking read a definition about like I know shit. I know what ClickFunnels is. Why do we need to put that on the page? Oh, because we need to add more links so we can get content to rank. Eroding search results. Bad news. What is ClickFunnels? Why the fuck are we defining what ClickFunnels is? If I'm telling you I know what ClickFunnels is, I'm using it. Hello, I'm using it and I want to get it. And again, you might be saying, well, that's just what your search was. But like, if we were to take this and put this into a keyword ranking tracking tool, like the reason why, if you talk to this company, they'd be like, yeah, we get that, we know that, but like we have to add this in here because we want to rank for Google. We want to put all this text on the page. Like what, like why do I need to know about the importance of integration if I am searching for an integration already? I don't need you to tell me that. Just give me what I'm looking for. So now it comes down here into the step-by-step integration, and this is also pulling it into Google Analytics, not agency analytics, right? So it's just wrong, right? The information is, one, it's tedious and cumbersome. I don't want to read this, do you? And two, it's built wrong. It's not built for the searcher or user anymore. It's built for the benefit of this company so they can get traffic to their website. And three, it's just wrong. Like Google's just ranking a wrong page in here without giving me any sort of any sort of explanation here. Now, when okay, let's go back here and say, let's replicate this search in ChatGPT now, right? And this goes for ChatGPT, Claude. I like Claude for writing, but I use ChatGPT as well. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say about this. So yes, you can integrate data into agency analytics, but it requires leveraging third-party tools or manual workflows as there isn't a direct integration. This statement alone, I could not get from anywhere in Google just looking for it, right? So right away, it gives me the answer that I'm looking for, and then it gives me very clear, concise options for how to handle this, right? And of course, the best part about this too is I can say, if I'm going to use, let's say, Google Sheets option, that's what we do. Like I already know the answers to these questions. That's why I'm using something like this. I'm using the answers that I already know. I can use something like Google Sheets. The bridge is what we do. So it's like, okay, let's go with Google Sheets. I have never done this before. So can you build my developer a step-by-step process? Talk to me like I'm 12, something like that, right? And now what it's going to do is it's going to build the blog post that I was originally looking for me, right? So one example of how Google just cannot give me the information that I'm looking for. One, two, it's just a complete waste of time, and the amount of content that's jammed onto it, it's not what I'm looking for, right? And also, we as SEOs, we kind of did this when we asked for it because we started building content like this with like word count length and like all this crap with like these shit like keyword optimization tools. Like, guys, it's dead. It's over. It's done. It's not dead yet, but it's dying. And if you don't see this as a searcher, you're just burying your head in the sand as an SEO because you want to cling to this ship that's going down, not realizing that, like, dude, it's sinking a lot faster than you think. It's sinking a lot faster than you think. It is sinking a lot faster than you think, right? So that's just one example. Let's get a little personal here. Let's go through my search history over here, and let's look at how I'm just using ChatGPT on its own. I mean, I've literally replaced Google for all informational queries. I don't go to Google anymore. It's dog shit. The only thing I really go to Google for is maybe some bottom funnel type searches if I'm looking to convert right now. I'll give you that. That Google's still good with that. But this is something that came up that was interesting because I've always been saying, right, that like, and of course this is happening on mobile phones, but I use this on my, I use ChatGPT is installed on my mobile phone. Obviously, I use it way more than Google. So like, coffee shop. This is a query that I've been saying for a while. The near me type searches are the ones that are safe, right? Mainly because especially Google's ingrained in how we search for stuff. We're comfortable with it. And the Maps pack is just it's beautiful, right? It's good for searchers, it's good for Google, it's good for our clients. The Maps pack is really to me the only and the best place to win right now inside of Google if you're gonna do any sort of Google marketing. It's all about the Maps pack. LSAs are pretty good too, right? So coffee shop near me. I look at this query here, and I'm like, okay, what I like about this, I can see reviews. I know these are verified businesses. I can see proximity on a map, and if I'm on my mobile phone, it's even better, right? But man, ChatGPT, like the more that I use it, the more that I see that they're kind of already on top of this stuff. I take this and I type in best coffee shops in Miami, and look what it's got. It's already got the Maps pack here in here. And again, the best thing that I can do here is I can say I like the ability to go back and forth. And I know Google has is it Gemini? It has something in there, but like I don't know. I haven't used it. Have you guys used it? I haven't used it. I want one that is open now and serves hot food, not just like bakery stuff. I'm hungry, right? So let's see what it comes up with. So man, ever since ChatGPT's had the ability to connect to the internet, it's just gotten significantly better with all this stuff. Again, map. This is the same thing that we see in Google, right? And I can even ask it too. This is what I love about it. So these sources are coming from Ocean Drive, Hungry Post, Timeout, Eater. So like this is going to be like pulling not from Google's algorithm, but from PR, from stuff like that, from third-party sources. Let me ask this too. So like, where is this maps data coming from? I love the ability to make ChatGPT my bitch, you know? My wife always gets so mad at me because the way that I speak to it, it's like my little minion, you know what I mean? That's really bad. You don't want to go through some of these things that I have here. The data comes from online sources, Google Maps, other location-based searches, web searches, blah, 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 etc. So a lot of this is coming from Google Maps as is. So kind of has the Maps pack already in here. You know what I mean? Let's look at some other stuff here. So we signed a client who does cruise ship injury stuff, right? And we put together kind of like a PVC landing page that I didn't really like. The copy was very bland and generic. Man, if you're not using Claude or ChatGPT to do all of your copywriting now, you are wasting your time or wasting your money or just living in the Stone Ages here. So what I really love about the ability to do this, right, is this is I'm working on a PPC landing page for a cruise ship lawyer, come up with 5 headlines and sub headlines. Now, usually with prompts, like this is a prompt that I give Claude over here. I usually give it very detailed prompts. Like prompting is, I was actually having this thought the other night. I was smoking a joint in my backyard, relaxing after my kid went to sleep, and I was thinking to myself about the Blueprint Training, my company that we sell trainings and templates and SOPs to clients in the agency space. And I was like, thinking about our template suite that I really need to revamp. And what I was thinking, I was like, templates are dead. Like I need to build a prompt library is what I need to build because the prompts is really where the money is because you can build these templates inside of here. And the more that I had a long call with my team today where I was going through our ads builder. I'm going to give that away in a different live call. Don't worry. It's literally a very long prompt set of instructions that we give on how to write ads, right? So like, here's what I was doing this morning with the team on the live call. Like, here's prompt 1. Here's prompt two. And, we're feeding off the prompts that we give it too. So like knowing how to use prompts. And when I was training and working with my team on this, I realized that like, since I have been managing people for so long, I've gotten very used to delegating. I've got very used to communicating and working through other people. It's basically what AI is. And I've been finding that, my team that hasn't worked or delegated work to other people before, it's a bit of a learning curve because they're like, it's not like there's so many different ways to skin a cat when it comes to using this technology. You can give it something very simple and then iterate on it, right? Or you can give it something very long and then iterate on it. It depends what you're comfortable with, and depends on what your level of expertise is in this stuff. So this one I gave it a very simple prompt, and just came up with 5 different headlines. Injured on a cruise, know your rights to compensation. Don't let cruise lines bury your blah blah blah. Were you hurt on a cruise? Legal help, just click away. Now, some of these are just okay, right? And when it comes to like iterating on these prompts, right? Something like, I need the headline to be focused on the prospect's main problem. You also need to communicate their main goal, desired outcome, which is max compensation. Right? So, like knowing how to prompt and go back, this is why I'm not like overly scared about AI in the moment right now, because you have to know how to use this. Like if you don't have the experience in knowing what you want from the headline, you're going to get mediocre work from it. Just like you get mediocre work now if you hire or outsource your social media or anything like that. Like if the person doesn't know what they're doing, if they're not able to scale that knowledge, you're going to get that mediocre results at best, right? So, you still have to have this knowledge base to look at this and say, okay, I need headlines, but this isn't good enough. I need you to focus on problems. I need to focus on outcomes. So when we look at stuff like this and then to mix and match, right? So injured on a cruise, don't settle for less than you deserve. So I would do something like this. I would say, let's take injured on a cruise, right? Because that goes after the targeting, right? It's a very simple statement that qualifies the audience. Speak to, speak to an attorney, I'll probably put in the subheadline. Get max compensation. Can you work on this and make it better? Right. So you just keep drilling in and going back and forth, going back and forth. It's about using this and understanding, like you as the user of this have to still understand what you're trying to get out of it, which means you still need the base of knowledge. But man, I mean, like if you do know that, then this is when we talk about scaling time, when we talk about scaling resources and building profits in the business, like holy shit, guys, this stuff is really, 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 really good, and you really have to be using it on a daily basis. Okay, so again, I was coming back here to kind of like dumping on Google and why Google's not good. Kind of got off topic a little bit there, but when we talk about top funnel, again, informational queries, let's look at another one here. So there's another one, right? I'm going to Mexico in 2 weeks with my wife. We're taking our 1-year-old son. And I just asked them, I'm going to the Edition in Mexico, Riviera Maya. I'm bringing a 1-year-old. They have nanny services, right? So like, again, let's take this. I didn't even bother Googling it, but let's see what Google has to say about this. Has a kids facility designed for your children, meaning you would likely need to be able to. Okay. Again, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. I prefer this though, right? Answer my question directly, exactly what I want. Here's some other things that you can use to do it. So again, like and this is maybe not even like this could be bottom funnel search if you think about it too, or mid funnel search, because I'm not going to hire one of these companies. But if it was like, okay, like watch this now, right? So to get from Cancun Airport to Riviera Maya, it's about an hour away. So I need a car service to take me from Cancun Airport to Edition Hotel in Riviera Maya. Does the hotel offer car services? Right, now let's see what ChatGPT has to say. Let's see what Google has to say. So for sponsored, offers car service to and from. Okay, this is pretty good. Not bad. Good for you, Google. That's one for you. Let's see what ChatGPT. Okay, very exact same thing. So again, it's also too. So Google got that one. I'll give that one to it. But like, what I do like about ChatGPT is the history of it, right? Like it's, I was talking to my team today, and I was talking about how I don't even really use too many Word documents anymore because it saves everything I need here. I can build projects in here. There's a history. I can refer back to it. It's taking up so much. It's taking up so much of what I used to be doing, just speeding it up. But all these different things. And again, little things like this. I bought a new coffee machine at home. Well, I got it for Christmas. Actually, that was my Christmas gift. And now I'm obsessed with making coffee. Obsessed with it. I already drink too much coffee. Now I drink even more. But I'm trying to learn a little bit about difference between lattes and cappuccinos and how to make these things. Like, dude, Google's a freaking black box for this information. Like, if you want to learn like how to make a latte, don't go to Google, right? Now another thing too that you could be doing is TikTok and YouTube queries, right? So that's where I think other areas of opportunities are within search. When we talk about search, right, we talk about SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization. That means technically any search engine, ChatGPT included, would fall under the umbrella. We just love Google because it's dominated 90% of market share for so long, but like it is not happening anymore, man. I'm telling you, like it's not even about like, oh, like data I see here. It's about what I do and what I use and what and what you use too. It's what we should be paying attention to. If you look at Gary Vee and like why Gary Vee's been so spot on with all of his predictions, because he looks at the consumer side first, not the company side, right? Not talking to other service providers and being like, yeah, we still sell a shitload of SEO services. Like, of course you do, because it is a good fit for some companies, but most companies it's not. And those companies still need leads. So what can we do there instead? So again, point I'm just trying to make on this entire presentation here is that Google is not what it once was. It's losing market share quickly. It's losing, and again, this is just coming from my empirical data. There's no real data here to support that. But and that's also because too, like the nature of Google searches versus like a ChatGPT search, it's very different. Like you might go to Google one time, like you're not going to really refine too many searches in Google anymore because you're just gonna be like, ah, fuck this. Like I can't find what I need. And also too, like sifting through all this, opening up those websites, like forget about it, dude. Like if Uber Eats and the demolition of Blockbuster has taught us anything, is that people want convenience, they want speed, they want things easy. Even if that means like an extra click, the easier the better. ChatGPT and these other platforms make it much better. So, got some questions here. Let's go ahead and fire away and check out some questions, guys. Please make sure to ask questions. I want to engage with you. I want to hear from you. I want you to fight me on this. Please fight me. Please fight me. Please fight me. Let's go back and forth. Kai asked, he said, I've spoken at a few school events recently focused on juniors and seniors learning about entrepreneurship. Some would use ChatGPT, others use Grammarly, but most in the building, most use the AI built in Snapchat. While being in the industry gives us an apocalyptic view of Google, we are too far ahead of the curve because almost everyone I talk to not in this industry rarely uses GPT, if at all. I totally agree with that, Kai, right? Like, this is my personal opinion, but there are multiple different platforms that you could be using. Like, if you went and talked to like a 12-year-old girl, she'd be like, I use TikTok for everything. Like, I don't use Google, I search on TikTok. That's fine. I do think that there's definitely a learning curve. There's an adoption curve that's going to take a long time for, like, my parents will probably never use ChatGPT. Never, right? But one of the big advantages of like ChatGPT, and I'm not like a ChatGPT fanboy or anything because I use Perplexity, I use Claude, I use all these different tools, is that they have the ability to satisfy multiple different needs. Meaning, I don't just use ChatGPT for search. I also use it as my personal bitch. Like I said, like I use it for everything. I use it for copywriting. I use it for planning. I use it to write my emails. I use it to plan these sessions here, right? Like I was just on here, like every single day I'm doing these live sessions, 1 p.m. Eastern time, live on YouTube. I need to come up with topics for this stuff. And I'm asking ChatGPT. And like when it first came out, it was very generic. It was kind of like ChatGPT came out with a bang, with a huge bang. And then I was like, yeah, it's not that good. It's not that good. It's not that good. And now the more and more and more that I've used it over the past 3, 4, 5 months, I'm like, I can't, like now it's ingrained in my DNA. Like I can't, I can't unsee it. I can't unuse it. Like I've become so reliant on it. It does so much for me, and it's also replaced Google for a lot of reasons. So like, I think that it will take more market share faster because it's not just like Ahrefs tried to release a search engine called Yap or something stupid shit. Like, you were never gonna beat Google, dude. Like, what were you thinking? Like, you should have saved your $50 million. You're never gonna beat Google because you're just trying to compete at something that they're already entrenched on. But ChatGPT is like, no, we're not a search engine. But we can do search. We can do it better. But like, we're going to there's multiple different ways that they can get ingrained into your daily usage, and that's the hardest part, right? The hardest part, like I've done a lot of app marketing before in the past, years and years and years ago. I used to do a lot of mobile app marketing, and what we find is that it was kind of easy to drive downloads, but it was extremely difficult to drive usage. And that's kind of the crux of this stuff here too, is that it's not just about getting people to download or be aware of it. It's getting them to actually use it on a regular basis and be comfortable with it. And if it's just search, yeah, the ChatGPT doesn't stand a chance against Google. It just doesn't. It's too big, it's too powerful, it's too entrenched, and people are lazy. They don't want to switch. But like, because it's doing such a good job at other things, at task automation, at I literally were launching. We're doing a lot more Facebook ads as a service for our clients at the law firm, and I pretty much exclusively use ChatGPT to build help me build out what that service looked like. Now, again, I fed it the exact kind of like strategy that I wanted to use. I built an 8-step process I talked about on my first live session. You should check it out. I literally copy and paste that and put that into ChatGPT and said, build an SOP for my team, and turn this into a project plan for my team. And then I sat on a call with my team and we went through it step by step. We edited some pieces of it to make it fit. We changed, the responsibility, the timeline of it. But like, you know how long that used to take me to do that, to build like an SOP in a process? A long time. Now, again, if you just go to ChatGPT and you're like, build me a Facebook ads SOP, you're going to get something very generic. And this is the crux. This is the difference between success and not success, in a sense, is that like you can't just go to these platforms and give it generic crap. Like, you have to be very, very specific. Number one. Number two, you have to know what the desired outcome is, right? So if you give it, say, build like ChatGPT can tell you exactly how to do local SEO, exactly how to do it. Say, tell me how to do local SEO. I'm an agency. I want to offer local SEO to clients. Build me an SOP that I can give to a VA, that I can give to my team, that I can learn how to use. I don't have a lot of experience, or I'm an SEO expert. And you can ask it, like, where do I get links from? How do I get reviews? And it will tell you everything. It knows everything. It knows just as much as I or what you do. But the difference is that I know what the desired outcome needs to be. And that's what you have to know in order to really get these things to be on point. Because otherwise, you're just going to get something generic that's kind of grinding stone down to dust, if you will, because everyone's going to have the same information. So you have to know what the desired outcome is, and you have to know how to work with it and go back and forth. Ask question, guys. If you're on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, fire away. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me how you feel about Google. Tell me if you think it's dying. Tell me if you have switched to other platforms. Mike asked, did you have private LLMs that you use for your business so you don't send data back to OpenAI Claude? No, I don't. I've thought about hiring a company or somebody to train like a true LLM model, right? Like, not through ChatGPT, but I also believe that nothing that we do is proprietary. Like, I'm not doing open heart surgery. I'm not building technology here. We are simply offering services to clients that you can go to the internet and find out exactly how to do. My clients could go to Google and they could say, tell me how to do SEO without an agency. And they can go to ChatGPT, Claude, anywhere. And it's going to tell them what to do. The money, as always, is an execution. The money is, it's like I give away everything. I'm doing these live streams every single day. Every single day I'm getting on here and doing a live stream, and I'm telling you everything that you need to do to make money, to build a business. And I'm giving that away for free. I'll never charge you for it. Why? Because some people say, why are you giving away everything? Why are you giving away all your IP and secrets? And I would tell you that it's not a secret. It's not my personal IP, and that you still have to do something with it in order to make money. Like, you still have to take action on it. And the money, as always, is an action. Like, if you want to get a six pack, you know how to get a six pack. Eat better, work out. That's it. But like, the reason why you hire a coach or a personal trainer or you go to gym is for accountability, because to do that on your own is hard. It's against human nature. It's really, really hard to do that on your own. So it's a lot of the same thing here. I don't care that ChatGPT has it. I don't care that Claude has it. They already have it. I'm not giving it unique information. Like, everything I'm asking is already somewhere in whatever you want to call it, their database, their wherever that information is. It's just so much of what we're going to be doing moving forward is knowing how to slice that information. It's knowing how to use that information. It's knowing how to communicate this information. It's knowing how to be the data layer in between, right? Like the law firm client and the chat GPT, because frankly, just like everything else out there, if you're a marketing services provider, any of your clients can go to ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity and say, I need you to tell me exactly what my agency is doing. And I need you to give it down to me step by step so I can do it myself. And it will give that to them. But I bet you everything in my bank account that they are not going to do that because they're just not. Right? So, like, what we have to understand though, and I think what we have to be honest with ourselves and especially with our clients, if you're working with as an agency, is we have to be honest about us using these platforms and how we're using them and how that impacts what they're paying us, what the expectations are. Because if we're not, like, you're gonna get left out. You're just gonna get left behind. You're gonna get run circles around. You're gonna get priced out because what might end up happening is agency services might end up coming down a lot because us being able to use this technology increases our margin because we don't need as many people. We're getting more out of the people that we have. We're increasing our margin, which means we're either going to get some sort of pushback from the market saying, I know you're using AI, so stop charging me so much, which is fine. We can recover to a previous margin based on that. Or, we'll be able to scale the output a lot faster. But if we're not really honest with it, then in having a conversation about it, then it can be a little bit deceitful. But again, these platforms have become such a big part of what we do like a lightning speed base, guys. I'm talking about like 4 months ago, 6 months ago, we just started using chat gpt and perplexity and Claude to help us write content. And now these platforms are pretty much exclusively creating all of our content with the help of a human off the back of it, right? So again, I don't think AI is going to replace all humans. I do think that there is going to be a level of human that's needed, who still needs to understand the entire cycle, the end output for what these things need to get to, for what good content looks like, for what good processes look like, etc. Manthan, I am reading the chat. You don't need to be so aggressive. Take a deep breath. I don't know what Crocs AI is, so I'm sorry, I can't answer that question for you. If anybody else has a question or wants to chat, let me know. But this dude, Manthan, I'm assuming you're a dude. You asked the question literally 2 minutes ago, and now you're saying, hey, you're reading the chat. Says I'm reading the chats, buddy. I got you. Take a deep breath. I don't know what it is. Crocs AI. If anybody else in this chat knows what it is, please comment and let us know. If anybody else has any questions, anything else they want to talk about, how do you guys feeling about this? Do you think that Google is in jeopardy? Do you think that Google is still a great product? Do you think that I'm just being a dramatic SEO truther saying that SEO is dead for the millionth time? I've seen it all before. I love the people that think they've been doing this for longer than me. When I post a video that's like, or I post something on LinkedIn that's like, yeah, Google kind of stinks now. Like, oh my God, you've been saying this for years. Everyone's been saying SEO is dead for years. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I have people saying I've been doing this for, let me see, I started in 2010. It has officially been 15 years since I've been doing this. And yes, I too have seen multiple waves of SEO is dead, and I can recount them because I've been doing this for this long. There was Penguin, right? There was link penalties that completely wiped out the internet in like 2011. There was Panda, duplicate content. There's been multiple waves of SEOs kind of self-retiring because SEO has changed so much and gotten harder. But now it's not a algorithm update. This is a Google product issue, in my opinion. And its product is eroding for search users, and other platforms are better. And they're getting better much faster, and they have much more upside, in my opinion. And we have to be mindful and pay attention to these things. Rogue CMO asked, any thoughts on incorporating EEAT through LLM and AI content? Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. So that's all part of the prompting process, right? So let me go back to my Claude here. So my team, I don't write content anymore, right? But like I do, I do use Claude for a lot of different copywriting things, right? So first thing that I like to do is I like to feed it these different product knowledge things, and I have some of these that are very, very deep, depending on depending on how complex it is. I have a copywriter that writes on my copy. I haven't write copy for LinkedIn or Twitter in like 4 months. Anything you see on there is not coming from me. If you have a problem with it, take it up a clock. But basically, what I'll do is I'll feed it things that are really important. So this is an ads builder for our agency for our clients. Now, I like to feed it who we're working with, who we're looking for. I like to, oh no, did I just do that? Damn it, I just deleted that. Damn it, guys. So I had another uh, text product knowledge in here that talked about our PAS copywriting framework, which is problem, agitate, solution. I fed it to that, right? Then I put in a ton of information here about ad hooks, right? How do I get this information? I Googled it and I copied and pasted it in here. So again, you have to kind of know what the desired end outcome is. You have to know if you just come in here and you're like, hey, write me an ad or like write me a blog post, right? Rogue CMO. And you don't give it the requisite information to know that you want them to cover EEAT or you want them to take into account internal links or you want it to take into account research, right? So like let me look at this one here. So this is an ads builder that I did for a car accident, right? I like to start by asking it to identify the pain points, the fears and anxieties of my target client. Why? Because all my ads are going to be built using this. So I'm feeding the LLM this information so it can recall on it as I'm going to write the ads. And then the second prompt comes in here and it says, there's a very large prompt about how to write the ads, what to include, what I want to see from it. And then it spits out everything I need, right? Now, again, if you're using this to write content from using this to write content for blog posts, you're going to want to incorporate EEAT. Just get some documentation about what EEAT is and feed it to it, right? And say, make sure that you incorporate EEAT information. I don't even know what that entails anymore, to be honest with you, inside of the article. You just feed it to it. And like this concept of an LLM, right? It's just, if you were to go to like somebody who builds AI models in LLM, they would tell you it's something different. You're actually going to train your own model. I'm just using public tools and it does just fine. But I'm sure that there's a much more detailed, robust way if you were to pay a company who does that to build like your own LLM and really feed it like a ton of data sets and information. But like you can do that in Claude, you can do that in ChatGPT too. So let me know. You also said your concern is leaning into AI content and then clients getting hit with an update. What do I tell them? Oops, sorry. So it's a really good question, Rogue CMO. For the most part, we don't really see a lot of penalties anymore. And two, like it's just more getting ignored or not indexed, which is a problem in itself, but it's not a penalty issue. So the thing with AI, I kind of alluded to this before, is there has to be a human element on top of it still, right? Because if we're just using AI, then it's just going to take information that's already in a database, that's already been presented, probably already published somewhere, right? It's literally taking information that's already out there. So what we do is our agency's content writing process for law firms is yes, we do use AI. We tell our clients that we're using AI, but we don't use AI to write the whole thing. We have a very big outline that that we'll use for different pages that we've already worked on before, and we'll feed that to the AI bit by bit, and then we'll manually edit the crap out of the content, right? So like we also don't say, hey, give me a blog post on what to do after a car accident, because it's just going to spit back information that's already out there. That's not how we like to do things. We like to give it piece by piece by piece, prompt by prompt by prompt, and interact a lot with the AI and give it a lot of feedback so we can refine it to get to the point where we feel like it's unique in a sense. But then we have a human go through and edit the living crap out of it too, right? So just like don't like if you're going to use AI for content that gets indexed, and this is also why I love AI for Facebook ads because I don't have to worry about that. I love AI for social content because I don't have to worry about penalties. It's just if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. Nobody sees it. That's fine. It's not a big problem. It's just maybe the copy wasn't good, maybe the hook wasn't good, maybe the angle wasn't good, and but there's no hurt businesses off the back of it. With AI content that gets indexed by Google, that's a different story. One, the content's a lot longer, so it's more resource intensive. It's probably gonna be more expensive for the client. If it doesn't perform, then there's a problem. So you have to make sure that there's a big human element here. Manthan, he came back. He said, "Yeah, you're talking about Grok." He said, "Do you think in coming years will be replaced, or either they will change the UI to be more AI centric?" I've only, man, Grok is funny. The only real use case I see for Grok right now is like people making just derogatory memes. I'm a sports fan. I'm a New England Patriots football fan, and they just fired the head coach, and my Twitter feed was filled with Grok images of this poor guy, like on a hot seat, literally with like flames on it, right? So like coach on the hot seat, flames on it. That's the only like use case I've seen from it so far. Um, I had like Twitter to me is kind of just a cesspool. Like I use Twitter, but like it's kind of a cesspool. I don't see it becoming anything aside from like Elon Musk's like little, I don't know, weird little play to just make Twitter more engaging, more controversial, more disgusting, whatever you want to call it. Mike asked, what what's the future of top of funnel content from an SEO perspective since ChatGPT is disrupting top funnel search? So, Mike, I would say also that I think Google's disrupting its own top funnel search. If you type in any informational query, there's a huge bug in here. Dang it. You're going to see the AI answers there. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, you can still click on the results so you can still get the traffic. Not really. Because the thing with informational queries is that you just want the information you're looking for and then you're out. Bounce, peace. That's probably one of the large reasons why Google did this. And like the SEO community is crying like little bitches like usual about like, oh, like I spent so much time on this content and Google's stealing it. Hey, guys, newsflash SEOs, if you don't want Google using your content in AI reviews, there's something called the no index tag. You can put it on your page and then Google will skip over your content. But you're not going to do that because your entire existence is tied to getting Google traffic. So you're complaining. You're literally pissing into the wind. You're literally complaining at the platform that built you and gave you everything on your career. Like, there's my issues with SEOs, not you, Mike. Just saying in general that, like, there's a very simple solution. Like, don't use Google. But you can't because you're not a marketer and this is all you know how to do. So, cry me a river. So, like, Google has been eroding the top funnel content on their own. And I'm sure it's based on their data. Their data probably said, all these people are creating all this content and people are just going to that page and then bouncing right away because it's not getting what they want. It's too long. Whatever the reason is that they're not getting the information they need and they're bouncing back to the SERPs. So what does Google say? If people are going to a page and coming back right away, it's a bad search result. And what did I say Google's number one goal is? To provide accurate, fast search results. So if Google's data is showing them that people are leaving and coming back, wouldn't it make sense for Google to start AI answers so they can just aggregate all the information that they think somebody wants and give it to them right away? Because no matter what, 99 times out of 100, that person is going to take no additional action on that page. They're going to get the information they need and then close the browser, best case scenario, right? Like, this notion that like top funnel content is really like somebody who was it, they were telling me, I like laughed at in their face, unfortunately I felt bad, but like they were like, oh, like top funnel content is an important part of the branding process. Like that's how brands are built. I was like, you have no idea. If that's how you think brands are built, you have like, sit down. Like that's not how, like brands are not built through blog content, guys. Brands are built on social media. Brands are built through short form engaging content. That's going to be the fastest marketing way to build content, and advertising and servicing customers. It's not built through getting somebody to read a blog post that they couldn't tell you the name of the company, the logo, what you're selling. They're literally, if it's blog content, they're searching for it. They're going there to get a piece of information, and that's it. The likelihood of them converting is very, very, very low. Every single piece of data shows this, including Google's data. So, Mike, to answer your question, the future of top funnel content from an SEO perspective is not content that you get indexed by Google. It would be content on YouTube. It would be content on TikTok. It would be content that maybe gets surfaced in ChatGPT. But again, I would argue, and this is part of my much larger macro argument, is that somewhere along the line, SEOs got lost, and they decided that rankings were more important than sales. They decided that fighting over links was more important than conversions and ROI, right? What I mean by that is that top funnel content, if it never has or doesn't or will not drive business value, why would you create it? Why would you make somebody pay you for that? Why would you spend your time and your resources creating something that you know doesn't impact conversions, that doesn't result in some sort of conversion process? So that's my thought on it, is that it's not about replacing it because it didn't really have too much value anyways, right? And again, all the people that say like, oh, content builds links and content builds brand and like it's important to get top funnel traffic. Like, no, it's not. If somebody comes to your website and then leaves and then you interviewed them and say, what are we selling? and they can't answer it, it didn't build any brand. It did nothing. They got what they were looking for and they left. So it's like those funny videos and memes that you see on like Facebook where it's like an attractive person doing something and then it cuts to somebody else and like, what color was their hair? You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. And I'm beating the drum so hard for people to start realizing that and changing the way that we practice, changing the way that we do SEO, and broadening our scope of it, and realize that, like, guys, you got to make people money. You want to charge people for services, make them money. That's it. If you can do that, you're going to make money. If you can't, you're going to be out of business. That's no matter what happens with Google. Um, let's see. All right, last question here from Rogue CMO. Said I created a AI content blog a few months back. This December update wiped out the site to zero impression. Tells me that AI content standards are rising and that human editors are needed. SEOs got stuck focusing on SEO, not business growth. Absolutely. So, as always, everyone, appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate your time and attention. Again, I do this every single day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, right here on YouTube. You can also catch me streaming on other platforms. But if you want to interact, which I love you to, make sure to join on YouTube. Search my name, Ryan Stewart. You'll see me there every single day, Monday through Friday. We're coming on here. I'm talking about things that are essential to marketing and business growth in 2025 as it pertains to the internet. I also want to present things that are a little bit controversial. I want you to talk. I want you to ruffle your feathers. I want you to engage. I want to hear from you. All right. Peace out. Love you all. Have a great day.